Hello and welcome to Newscentre. I'm Parikshit Luthra. US President Trump continues to keep India on the edge as the August 1st tariff deadline draws closer. Answering questions on Air Force One, President Trump said India could face tariffs of up to 25% in the absence of a deal. Trump also denied the finalization of any deal with New Delhi, along with India, Bangladesh, South Korea, Malaysia, Cambodia and Thailand are yet to strike a deal with the United States. The US did manage to sign a flurry of trade deals in the last few days. These include the European Union, United Kingdom, Japan, Indonesia, Vietnam and Philippines. All of them are facing tariffs between 15 to 20%. Meanwhile, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reiterated that the administration is in no hurry to sign trade deals. Speaking to CNBC, Bessent added that Washington is more concerned about the quality of the deal than the timing. While export volumes are expected to hold steady, industry warns a significant hit on profits. Textile exporters are already feeling the heat, with US buyers holding back orders. Chemical and leather sectors fear a potential loss of business if the 25% tariff is imposed. However, pharma companies don't anticipate a dip in demand just as yet.
Preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%. Is that what you're tracking, or what do you think the rate will be for India?
They are going to pay 25%.
Yeah, India is preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%.
Yeah, I think so. Look, they're my friends, and he's my friend.
Is the deal with India finalized?
No, it's not.
Okay, so what rate are you expecting?
Well, we're going to see. But India's been a good friend, but India has charged basically more tariffs than almost any other country. You know that, right? Over the years. But now I'm in charge, and you just can't do that. I think the trade deals are working out very well, hopefully for everybody, but for the United States, they're very, very good.
To take this discussion ahead, I'm now joined by Bhavin Mehta, Vice Chairman at Pharmexcil, and Ajay Srivastava, founder of the Global Trade Research Initiative. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Bhavin, if I can begin with you, how are you bracing for Donald Trump's tariffs? It now seems to be in the range of 20 to 25%. How is this going to impact India's pharma sector and exports to the US?
Great. Thank you so much, Parikshit. I think so. We are well balanced because if you consider the full exports of India, which is around $30 billion, around 55% comes from the regulated market and around 45% comes from the non-regulated market. So we are very, very well balanced between the both of them. And what I foresee is this has been going on from, I think so, more than 6-9 months. And even the tariff which is being proposed is yet not finalized. So I feel it's going to get stretched, and let's see what happens. But I feel we are in a balanced state and things are going to be good for us.
All right. You're expecting tariffs to get stretched. Let me also get in Mr. Ajay Srivastava at this point. Mr. Srivastava, 25% tariff is what Donald Trump is hinting. Will India be able to absorb these tariffs without major impact?
So, Parikshit, two caveats are here. If others are getting, say, 40%, 50%, I mean, what's our relative disadvantage? So everything will be announced on August 1st by Mr. Trump, and then we can talk about this. But right now, if we have to guess about the impact on different sectors, we have to talk sector-wise. For example, there will be no impact on, say, iron and steel, where the tariffs for everyone, all countries, deal or no deal, will be 50%, except probably for Japan. Everybody else will be paying 50%. Auto component, everybody will be paying 25%. So 6.6% of India's exports to US, no impact because everybody will be paying the same tariff. Then, out of our total exports of $86 billion to US last fiscal, there will be no impact on $25 billion worth of exports. Which are these? Smartphones, our largest item, about $11 billion of exports, zero tariff in the US right now. Pharmaceutical, they are talking about 200% tariff, but right now the tariff is zero. So no impact on that. Then energy products, petroleum products, we export about $4 billion, zero tariffs. So $25 billion out of $86.5 billion, no tariff. $6.6 billion of iron and steel auto component, no impact because everybody will be having the same impact. But there will be impact on other areas. For example, garments. It's not easy to calculate right now, but if I want to talk about garments, then the largest supplier of garments to US is China. They'll be facing 30% tariff over and above the MFN tariffs of say 12, 13, 14%. If we are facing 25% or 20% plus MFN, we are slightly better off than China. Bangladesh, no deal, but they have announced 34% tariff in the letter. So it's worse off than us. So we are better off than Bangladesh. Vietnam, of course, they have a deal with 20%. And there is no MFN because they already have an FTA with the US running from the past 25 years. So we'll be in disadvantageous position compared to Vietnam. But with compared to China or Bangladesh, in garment sector, our position will be better off. So we have to keep our fingers crossed and let's see what happens on 1st of August. Similarly, we can talk about other sectors, but I think I'll wait for your question.
Right. No, I'll speak about the other sectors. You've spoken about garments, which is a large area of exports. What about leather goods for that matter, engineering goods, gems and jewelry?
Yes. Parikshit, leather goods are in the same bracket as garments. They have almost similar tariffs, 8% to 40% in US, and China is the largest supplier, and Vietnam is the second largest supplier. Vietnam has big advantage over us. We supply over $400 million worth of leather goods to US, and these will be impacted. But again, about 20 more suppliers are there. We have to see on August 1st how much disadvantage they face from Trump's side. Then if we talk about, say, gems and jewelry, our big sector, we export about $10 billion of gems and jewelry to US, and diamonds are about $5 billion. But I see we also import cut and polish diamonds worth $2.5 billion from US. So it's possible that diamonds are coming from the US. We are just cutting and polishing and sending them back. To that extent, the diamond sector may not be hit. I mean, half of it, but half of it may be hit. If it's hit by a tariff of say 25%, then it will be a major hit. Similarly, for jewelry, we export gold jewelry of value about $3.6 billion. And this will be hit. You know, most of the jewelry is mechanical jewelry, and mechanical jewelry has a valuation of say 3, 4, 5%. If I'm an Indian businessman, I'll be saving a lot of money if I set my smelter, my shop in US, start doing those things. So exports from India of gold jewelry will be difficult, mechanical gold jewelry. For handcrafted high-end jewelry, of course, the market will remain there because of high margins, but most of it will be affected. Lab-grown diamonds, we export about $700 million.
Okay.
That will be affected. And then I talk about engineering goods. Engineering good and chemicals. You know, here the major suppliers are Canada and Mexico. They already have an FTA with the US, so no MFN tariffs. So MFN tariffs are about 3 to 4% on these these products. And we have to see what tariff Trump decides on Canada or Mexico. We are hearing 30%. If it's 30%, then India will be neck to neck with them. So in that case, we may not have any impact or modest negative impact in that. So overall, I don't see any cause of alarm right now. But we can talk with more certainty once everything is out on August 1.
All right, so you're not expecting much alarm right now. Let me also go back to Bhavin at this point. Bhavin, Donald Trump has told reporters in the United States that he will begin implementing pharmaceutical levies as early as August 1st and increase rates in about a year or 18 months. He has threatened to impose up to 200% tariffs on imported drugs. If that were to happen, what will be the impact on the Indian pharma sector?
Yeah, Parikshit. As I said, that we are very well balanced between the two, because out of the total $30 billion.
All right, we will try and connect with Bhavin once again. Let me go back to you, Mr. Srivastava. Should India keep the option of retaliating open? Would that option be considered right now in the Commerce Ministry?
No, I think we should wait because Trump is throwing many proposals almost on a weekly basis. For example, he says 10% tariffs on BRICS members. and 500% tariff on if anyone buying oil from Russia. So we have to wait. There is no need for any panic. Let's wait for 2, 3, 4 months and let things settle, and then we can take action. There is no hurry for that. Bhavin,
Right. And now
sorry,
Bhavin
Parikshit?
is back with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bhavin is back with us. Let me go back to him, sir. So, Bhavin, you were telling us about the possible impact of 200% duties on pharmaceuticals. How will that impact the Indian pharma exports?
First of all, I think so. What the clippage that you had shown, he was talking about, say, 20 to 25% duty that he was talking about. In case that also, I feel won't be happening because he also knows very well after India, as there's no other country to supply the drugs at the quantities that they require, right? So the point is, he also has to go in a very phased manner in case something is going to happen. Moreover, he has given Indian companies or all the companies to set up plants in 1 year's time. And we all know very well that to set up plants, it minimum takes 2 to 3 years, and then the approvals and all that, right? So I'm very sure as 1st August unfolds, I'm very sure something is there in it, and we'll be able to move on and things will be good for us.
Right. But are we seeing companies consider making investments in manufacturing in the US?
Currently, things are still on standstill because everyone is expecting what is going to happen on 1st August. So I guess we are still awaited that what is the outcome on 1st August. And we really don't know in 1st August what if the this deadline gets again stretched up, you know. So I think so it's better that we wait and watch, and let's look on 1st August what is the outcome. And based on that, the companies will decide how they want to move forward.
All right. Let me go back to Mr. Ajay Srivastava at this point. Mr. Srivastava, now, do you expect on the 1st of August tariffs to come into effect immediately? Because some exporters believe that it will not happen immediately. There may be a date when these tariffs would come into effect. And the general feeling is, even if it is a 25% tariff and there is a temporary panic in the market, there is a feeling that eventually we will have a BTA sooner or later.
Parikshit, last time Mr. Trump gave us 1 week's time to implement the tariff, just 1 week's time. So, yeah, just 1 week time. So he may follow that deadline this time also. And I think we should not hurry for the deal since it has not happened so far. Let's see how he acts on pharmaceuticals, how he acts on BRICS, how he acts on his threat on Russian oil. Because the countries who have done the deal, look at them, what is happening. For example, Japan, I could never imagine they will sacrifice rice for their auto sector. In European Union, my friends are there, we have been talking there. They were saying that we are negotiating MFN tariff, forget about this Trump tariff, we'll get that. Ultimately, for the sake of their auto sector, I'm hearing this, I don't know how far I'm right, but I'm hearing this, that for the sake of their auto sector, they have sacrificed their agriculture. They also agreed to invest $700 billion, agreed to buy $750 billion worth of their oil, energy, despite knowing that US cannot supply all these things. So sacrifices has been very big. What they got in return, just 15, they have to pay 15% still over and above the MFN tariffs. So a bad deal and no deal, very little difference is there. So we should not hurry. We have made our
Mr.
offer.
Srivastava,
Yes, please.
right, we've made an offer. What are India's options at this stage? If the 25% tariff is imposed, and which is looking likely right now, if we go by Donald Trump's statements on board Air Force One, what should India do? What would be our options?
So India should be very clear. 95% of US exports to India, they are non-agriculture products. And we have agreed to open everything, eliminate tariffs. So US trade deficit problem should be taken care of. And with this, agriculture, dairy, most of it is our red line. We have made our offer. We should just keep quiet and wait for their response, because we are not in position like EU or Japan to fiddle too much with our agriculture.
Right, that indeed is an important point, and those, of course, are red lines. Should India consider making those big-ticket investment commitments?
So we don't know where do we have the capacity? For example, if Japan is making, they may be making investments in the US semiconductor complex. So in what sectors will be making, I don't know. And do we have the money? I don't think we have the money also to make commitments. We can make commitments to buy some of their oil if it comes at the right price, or some Boeings here and there because we need them. Beyond that, I don't think we have the capacity to undertake to invest. A developing country promising to invest in a developed country their dollars. I think it's far-fetched.
Right. Okay, thank you so much for joining Mr. Srivastava and Bhavin Mehta for joining us with a perspective on the pharmaceutical industry. We're going to take a short break here on Newscentre. Lots more on the other side.